Hi, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, wherever you're watching me from around the world. This is Audacious, the power of consistency. Wow, I'm so excited already for what's going to happen tonight. Maybe where you are, maybe afternoon where you are, but hey, this is going to be something else. This is going to be something else, trust me. We already have Dr. Karim here. Hey, hey, Dr. Karim.
I apologize. I had my mic on mute. I was trying to be
Can you hear
respectful.
me?
I got you now. Hopefully you can hear me okay.
Oh, I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me. Okay,
I
give me one
can't
second.
hear you.
Hmm.
But can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. Check one, check two, check one, check two, check one, check two.
Yeah, I can hear you. Great.
You can hear me? Okay, perfect. All right, you can hear me now? Dr. Praise, can you hear me? Dr. Praise, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Dr.
Um.
Praise, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm trying to.
Check one, check two. Okay, how about now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you, but I'm trying to change my browser. I think the issue is from the browser.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So I think we have just a little bit of technical difficulty with Dr. Praise. We'll give him a couple seconds and see if we can get him back on here.
I am here.
There he is. All right.
So I had to change my browser.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I had to change my browser. So
Okay.
great. We have Cornel Agwu here.
Hi.
Great, great, great.
Hi, Dr. Karim. Good evening.
Good.
Hi. Great.
Well, I will say good evening to you. It's daytime. It's 2 o'clock here. So it's,
Good afternoon to you.
it's bright and sunny outside. I know y'all it's 7 o'clock where you guys are at.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
exactly.
7 p.m. here. So we're waiting for Dr. Lisa and Victor
Mm,
Emelataobi to be here.
mm,
Yes, so just so you know,
mm.
we are streaming live on YouTube.
Okay.
We're streaming live on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and we're streaming live on LinkedIn.
Mm.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
No,
So
no
we're
problems there.
having
No
all over
pressure.
the world. So we're
Absolutely no
streaming from
pressure.
everywhere.
That's great.
Yeah, we're streaming from everywhere.
1 minute.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm excited about this topic, Dr. Praise. I think consistency is the one thing people overlook. They focus so much on resources. And the
Yeah,
one key element I think that that's the glue that binds everything together is consistency. So I'm so excited we talking about this topic today.
absolutely. I am excited about it too, because what has kept up over the years is
Mhm.
the consistency that we've had
Yeah.
to get to where we are. We
Yes.
keep doing what we're doing,
Hmm.
and we're where we are today
Mm.
because we kept pushing, we kept persevering.
Mm-hmm.
and nobody would understand what's going on behind the scenes.
Sure. I
That's
agree with
why I tell people nobody will understand what's going on behind the screen, behind the scenes, but they see the
that. Mm-hmm.
successes, they see the glamour, they see
Mm.
the glitz,
Yeah.
but they don't know the hunger, the tears,
Mm.
the
Absolutely.
pain
Me.
they have to go through behind the scenes for them to see the glamour that they're all seeing.
I agree with that.
It is based on consistency, because if you consistently do what you're doing behind because you want to show that you can achieve what you said you're going to achieve,
Mm-hmm.
you will achieve it. And people don't understand that. They just think it happened overnight.
Mm.
Mhm.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
you're right.
definitely agree.
Yeah. So we're waiting for Victor and Alisa, Dr. Alisa, to be here, and then we'll shoot. So while we wait for them, let's do a little bit of introduction. So from Cornel, I mean, tell the world, who is Cornel Agwu? What does he do? What's his passion? And then we'll move over to Dr. Karim while we wait for Victor and
Sure.
Dr. Alisa to come. So over to you,
Okay.
Cornel.
Cornel. No, that question is one of the hardest questions actually to answer these
Mm.
days because of so many things we have done over the past few years, right? Um, I started off as an accountant with passion to empower people, right?
Mm.
So that's where the whole conversation for me started. I mean, talking about a couple of years ago.
Mm.
And then studied accounting, finished everything you can think of, ICANN, whatever. And then started my career work in banking sector, then pick it up from there. But there's something that was there.
Mm.
See, that was, if someone reminded me yesterday, the
Okay.
person said, you have been consistent with speaking,
Mm.
training, empowering the next generation since 2007.
Mm.
Yeah. So Cornell is a financial fitness expert, right? Um, Without missing word, I think I'm one of the best in my craft as far as this continent is concerned.
Mm.
Um, I'm passion. My passion actually is to see the next people, the next generation, to see everyone doing what they need to do without having money worries,
Okay.
right? So I help you to build bridges between your fantasy, money fantasies, and your current realities using what you are currently earning. You don't need to borrow to start doing it, using what you are currently earning, right? I'm a businessman. I'm a super consultant. I'm a farmer as well, by the way. I'm a farmer, by the way. Um, so that's basically what I do. That's basically what I do, right? Um, my new obsession, which has been burning me up since this year. My new obsession is to see how a million people can enter or make the first 1 million naira in Nigerian currency. Because if 1,000 people can make that amount of money, then that's 1,000 people that you pulled out from poverty line to the point where they can become financial stable. Then they'll be able to put another 1,000, and then another 1,000, and then another 1,000, and then that trickles down to, in next 10 years, we're talking about over 100,000 people that are comfortably making a 1 million naira every month, right? So that's my new obsession and my new passion. And like I said, I've been doing this for the past since 2008 actually,
Mm.
and I'm still here. Yes, back to praise. Your mic is muted. Your mic is
Okay,
muted.
so can you hear me now?
Yes,
Great. So, I think you want to know something. I and Cornell met, I think, over 12 years ago, about 15
12
years
years.
ago,
Yes,
as his student. I
yes,
was his student at the Entrepreneurship Development Center. I
yes.
was his student. Now, we got connected, and we move from being student to partners,
Yes.
from being student to friends, then from being friends to
The
partners.
partners, yes.
And it's been 15 years together.
Mhm.
So when he says this, I mean, I know. Hey, Dr. Lisa is here.
Woo!
There she is.
Hey,
Woo!
Dr. Lisa is here. All right, so that's what happened. I and Cornel met 15 years ago, and we're still here today. Um, Over to Dr. Karim.
Mm.
Let's hear Dr. Karim. I mean, tell the world.
Well, I go by the moniker of the number one breakthrough strategist. I have been speaking, teaching, training, and coaching both nationally and internationally at this point for 2 decades. It doesn't feel that way. I don't wear the mileage on me, but it's been 2 decades of
Wow.
speaking and going into organizations such as Honda, Toyota, Ford Motor Company, General Electric. I mean, Johnson and Johnson, you name it. I've been there. I've got recognizable logos all over me from organizations I've been at. I've been an entrepreneur for 2 decades as well. So I started my journey by, believe it or not, creating a vintage toy business while I was working at my 9-to-5 job. I wanted financial freedom. I wanted out of the 9-to-5 job. I took that business and parlayed over to the world of real estate, where I mastered that. And then I still felt incomplete. I still felt unfulfilled. And then that's when the gateway opened to the world of professional paid speaking. And so that's put me at the head of different organizations and companies where I've been blessed to do this. And it's something that I'm passionate about. I believe that passion is what you love to do. Purpose is what you're designed to do. And our mission while we're here is not just to make money. Money's a byproduct. But our mission while we are here is to discover our life's purpose. That is the body of work we're here to complete and the legacy we're supposed to leave behind. So, and you can't do that. You can't walk in your passion and your purpose unless it's mixed with consistency. It will never happen. It will never manifest. And if you somehow get it off the ground, it will never last long. Consistency is always the key element. So it's a pleasure, it's a privilege, and an honor to be here today.
Thank you.
Yep. This is power packed. I don't know how we're going to do this, but man, it's getting hot in here. So, Dr. Alisa, hey, mindset disruptor. Come on, come on, come on. Hey, the only woman in the midst of all the men.
I'm telling you.
All
Your
right.
mic.
Your mic, you need to unmute.
All right, here we go. Can you all hear me?
Yes,
can.
we can.
Your mic.
Your mic, you need to unmute.
You're on mute. But bless her heart, she just talking. I felt like she was going in with some gems too.
Fire.
I hear nothing.
You guys hear me? I'm not sure. I think someone's muting me. I think Dr. Praise is just muting me every time I start to speak. Am I
No.
here? So good
Yes,
morning from
you are here.
Arizona, the sunny state of Arizona, United States of America. It is just 11:12 a.m. here. So I get to say good morning. I am Dr. Elisa Whyte, and I go by the number one mindset disruptor. I am wildly passionate about serving and inspiring ambitious game changers to create their abundant life by transforming first their mindset while they're leading a life of purpose. Listen, you've got to believe it and pursue it with consistency. If it was not for consistency, I will not be standing before you this morning, particularly with some of the tech difficulties. And as you can see, I've been muting in and out, but consistency is what we're talking about. I call it stick to itiveness. The word I like to use for consistency, Dr. Kareem, Ambassador Praise, and my wonderful new brothers I get to meet this morning. I call it stick to itiveness because you see, it's nice to have a goal, it's nice to have a plan, it's nice to have a dream. It's even nice to start something, but the only way you will achieve success is by being consistent and sticking to it. So I can't wait to talk with you all about it.
Yeah. Great, great, great. I think we should just dash in. When Victor comes, he would just do his introduction and then move straight to his session. So great. Let's jump into this. Let's start with Cornel. So, Cornel, you have 30 minutes. Download,
Wow.
download, upload, unleash. Let us hear the power of consistency. Over to you, Mr. Cornel.
Okay. When I hear that word consistent, right, what comes to my mind is keep doing it. Keep doing it. No matter what, keep at it. See, people don't like to start a thing because nobody likes to feel the pain of failure. But like I tell people all the time, there is commercial value in failure. There are lots of commercial values when you fail. Starting or wanting to start a thing and then you're analyzing what if not, and all of that, you will not know what will succeed until you start. 2005, when I met my one of my mentors, I had an idea. An idea, a particular business I want to start. I've been doing this business plan, doing analysis and all of that. Try to check it on paper. What will I fail? What would be? And then he told me something that changed my world. He said, ideas are perfected at the place of implementation, not on paper. There is never there's never anything like a perfect idea, right? Start, be consistent in it. But again, you need to understand the thin line between being consistent, right, with evidence of result, and then knowing when to quit when it's not working. You need to be able to draw that line. You need to be able to know at what point should I stop? At what point should I start? At what point should I continue doing what I'm doing? Right? Now, when I started speaking, or when I wanted to start speaking, I'm going to share a bit of my story. I was born a chronic stammerer. I stutter a lot. And then it was so bad that it would take an average of 4 to 10 minutes for me to say a single word. That was how bad it was. I was timid. It affected my self-esteem. It affected everything about me. I just want to be alone. Yet, in the midst of that circumstances, right? Funny enough, I was still a talkative. I love to talk in between when I was in the midst of my siblings. I want to talk anywhere, but just that it's not coming out. And yet, how do you want to be a public speaker, a trainer, a coach with that level of speech impediments? Who will give you a platform? Who will give you their audience? Right? Then I started working on it. How can I overcome this monster? This is what I want to do, but this is the obstacle to what I want to do. Guess what, guys? I have an option to go and study something. Maybe to go focus on my accounting work. I don't need to talk to anybody. All I need is the paper and the biro. I just need to do my numbers. I might not even go and do presentations. I just hire a junior colleague to go and do the presentations while I do the work. But this is what I want to do. This is what gives me happiness. But this is the obstacle I'm facing currently. And it goes way back to tell someone else that for the fact that this is your passion does not mean that everything will just align until you persist enough to tear down the obstacle, to tear down that wall of barrier that is standing between you and your greatest goal. You will always, mark my word, you will always be a second infidel. You will always be the second alternative. So I remember it took me like 2 years of studying, of training. I attended about four different public speaking classes, yet it's like it's not working. How can I deal with this monster? What else can I do? Until I stumbled on a book, 58-page book, written by some guy from Australia. I can't even remember his name now. But that book was a story about how he's able to overcome his challenges and became one of the highest paid public speaker in Australia. After reading that book, I began to practice everything that book taught me. And then 2 years, all of a sudden, I mastered 3 skills: how to control my breath, how to do the breath analysis, how to control my emotions so that it doesn't get in the way of what I want to say. How do I articulate what I want to say in my head? Big thing happened like magic, but it took 2 years, guys, 24 months of shame, of crying, of trying, frustration. The money went in for it. I read books. I did all manner. Today, I speak for a living. I train. I train people on public speaking. Today, everything is like, so some people look at me and says, I want to be like you. I said, no, you don't want to be like me. Be the best version of yourself. Go work on yourself. Go become that which you are destined to become. Okay? I remember one of those days, I was supposed to go and represent my company to do a particular training. And then my boss came into my office that day and said, Cornel, you know, if you fail in this assignment, the shame will come to you first before it comes to us. So no matter what, your excuse is not good enough. And I'm telling anyone who wants to listen, you have every right to fail. You have every right to quit, but your excuses is not good enough. Let me put it in this way. If your excuses cannot buy a bottle of water, then it is not valid. Because that excuse you are given is the reason why you don't want to do what you want to do. Why don't you give an excuse this morning about eating food? If I said, do this and I'll give you $1 million, would you do it? The reason why your excuse is valid to you alone is because you have not have enough why that is big enough to challenge that obstacle. My why, when I was dealing with the speech impediments, my biggest why is that this is what gives me the utmost happiness. I want to be able to challenge this philosophy. I want to be able to challenge this. I've seen how people ridicule me. Not because I didn't know the answer, because I was a smart kid, but because I couldn't communicate the answer in a way and manner that average people can communicate. So, because I can't speak well, I was put in the same bracket with people who doesn't even know the answer. I was punished for the solution I know the answer to. So my why was to break out from that circle and become the best version of myself. I'm not there yet, but looking back, oh God, we have come a long way. Oh God, no. It was worth it. The second persistent or consistent example I could give was me starting a business. Yes, my family was, everybody in my family is career driven. Get a job, get promoted, keep going, get masters, keep going, keep climbing the ladder, changing careers, different. Yes, only me that want to go into business. Yes, I love career, but I want to go into business. All right. So number one, there is no direct mentorship you could get from home. You have to do it yourself. You have to do it your way. My first business was a colossal failure. I did it again. The second business succeeded to a point. I made a bloody mistake. Then the whole thing went down. My third business, and you can remember, 2009, 2010, I was defrauded heavily, massively. I lost my fourth business, but I started again. And that was haulage business. We continued again, and then again, till 2015. I was still doing haulage. I'm still doing haulage even to today. I'm talking about 13, 14 years into one business line. I've been duped 4 times, but I'm still doing it. Your excuse is not good enough, guys. If anyone else can do it, who said you can't? Let me even bring it home. When I started speaking more professionally, training corporate people more, and then all of that, then I moved from my former city to Lagos, Nigeria. And then finished my life coaching certification program, then resigned from my former job, then get into this space fully as like a full time. This is where I want to stay. Then started building name, building credibility, career platform. I was building this for myself and all of that. Then all of a sudden, the people that I call mentors suddenly become my competitors. And then, all of a sudden, I start hearing a lot of things at the back. Oh, don't put me and Cornel on the same platform. Oh, I don't want to speak with Cornel on the same platform. Oh, that and that and that. Why? What's my offense? What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Two options: stop or continue. Oh, quitting is not an option for me. Do you know how I got here? Do you know how I built myself to become who you want? Who today is your competition? And you want me to stop out of respect? Listen, guys, there is no success mate. Overtaking is allowed in this field. I don't care the field you are in. Your mentors today might become your partners tomorrow. They might even become your competitors tomorrow. Your mentors today, because they are your mentors, it's not a legal right for you to submit your success to them. It's not. Take it from me. I have been there. Me and Praise was my student in my class. But after the class, we became good friends. We are partners. We are partnered in a lot of projects today, and we're still going together. What if I became insecure because of his success? I won't be on this platform tonight. Why? See, there is room for everyone to thrive. There's room for everyone to become the best version of themselves. But can you be consistent enough to break through the barrier, to come to that level where your voice can be recognized anywhere and can open that door for you? Everybody wants to admire you from that far. Everybody admire people who have gone far. But wait until they turn and show you their back. Wait until they show you. Wait until they show you their pain, what they went through. I remember one of those days I was going to speak at Makurdi, a state in Nigeria. And then our car broke down in between Ogoja and Makurdi. There's no way for me to call my host. My phones were dead. Nothing was working. Then rain started. We were stuck in a small cubicle, 8 of us, for hours on ending. We slept there, mosquitoes and all. The following morning, we continued our journey. We went to speak at the conference. People were blessed. And somebody walked up to me and says, I want to be like you, Cornel. I look at this guy in the face. I remember the rain. I remember the mosquitoes. I remember the suffering. I said, are you ready to pay the price? Because the bigger the price, the bigger the success. Let me summarize by saying these few things. I wrote it down before we started. The result that you are currently seeking is often found at the other side of your fears and your failures. If you can't cross that path, you can't see the success. Nothing happens within your comfort zone, and nothing happens within your excuse zone. Break free from that excuse. Everyone might reject you. Your mentors might give up on you. Your friends will give up on you. But the worst that can happen to you is for you to give up on yourself. You need to build 3 levels of strength. Number 1, emotional stability. Number 2, mental stability. And number 3, physical stability. You need to be able to speak to you, have what I call a conference call with yourself every day and tell yourself you can do this. You can. Will you be hungry? Yes. Will you be betrayed? Yes. Will there gossip with your name? Yes. Will you experience failure in abundance? Will you see hardship? Press down, shaking together order of hardship. But will you succeed? Yes. Will you forget the pain? Yes. Will you forget the failures? Yes. Will you have the influence and the leverage to do more? Yes. But the bigger the stage, the bigger the pain. What said the difference between mediocrity or mediocre and the excellence or the excellency you are seeking for, or the success that you're seeking for? What separates them is the power of consistent and the power to pursue until you become the best version of yourself. I will end here. Thank you, Praise.
Whoa, whoa. I feel like jumping up right now. Man, that was powerful.
Thank you, God.
Thank you so much, Cornel. That was it. That was it. I mean, there's something you said. You said if your excuse can't buy a bottle of water, then it's useless.
It's not good enough.
Mm. It is not good enough. It is not. Whoa. Now, I don't know who we're gonna go with. You know, the saying usually goes ladies first.
I don't know why you
You
put me first.
know, but yeah, we had a guy go first. So I think I want to believe that Dr. Alicia should go next. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together wherever you are around the world and welcome Dr. Alisa Whyte.
Hello,
Oh,
hello, hello again. Ladies first, right? They always do that to just put us under the bus, but it is still a privilege and an honor to be with you, wonderful gentlemen. Dr. Praise, thank you for putting this together. Indeed, this is, I would say, the most important ingredient in my life, in my work. And so today I have a question for us. And listen, we don't just want you to sit there at home and just watch us. I want you to interact with us. I want you to be a part of this conversation. Here's a question I have for you. If you relived today for the next 10 years of your life, where would you end up? Again, I'm going to ask that question. If you relived today for the next 10 years of your life, where would you end up? You see, if you took a moment to think about that and you didn't like the response, I want to tell you, and you know, I go by the moniker as the number one mindset disruptor, that consistency is defined by the Webster's Dictionary as the conformity in application of something that is typically necessary for the sake of logic, accuracy, and fairness. Again, consistency is the conformity of application of something that is typically necessary for the sake of logic, accuracy, and fairness. And what are we really talking about here? It's the dictionary is telling us that in order to have a desired outcome, we must confirm in the application of something of something to be able to get the accurate results that we seek. So, consistency is the way and the process of doing something. You see, my friends, I want to challenge you that the problem in our lives is not with being consistent. The problem in our life is not with being consistent. The problem in our life is developing consistent habits to achieve the goals that we have. So, I want to share a little bit about my inability to confirm and apply the right habits to get a desired outcome. Listen, a few years ago, I was quite over 200 pounds. And I say quite over 200 pounds. And I'd been back and forth in that area for several different reasons. There were some health complications, life complications, you name it. Listen, the doctors gave to me, more than one doctors give me the reason why I was severely overweight. And they said, it's going to be hard for you to lose weight. And, you know, I fought back and forth with them and I would try again, try. I would start something. I would start a diet plan. I would start Slim Fast. I started to go to a medical facility where they gave to me a plan that was very, very low in calorie, and I would lose so much weight. And then I would stop losing the weight and go back to the doctor. The doctor says, I told you, with what you've got going on hormonally, it's a challenge for you to lose weight. You're going to get stuck every time. So, do you see, they're supporting me in what I would now call the start and stop syndrome. The start and stop syndrome. You see, as I said, the habits is the true issue behind the consistency. Because you see, I had a good idea. I got some good plan. I even recruited some support, but I had a habit of overeating. I was consistently overeating. Yes, I had some challenges at the time, but I was consistently eating certain kinds of food that worked a certain kind of way for my body. And so what I was doing, I was consistent, but I was consistent doing the wrong thing and conforming to the wrong thing. And even when I started, I stopped. So I even broke the habit of consistency that I was trying to build to take me to the outcome of living healthier and being at a better and healthier body weight. So again, when we talk about consistency, you can be consistent all day with what you say you want to do. But the true power in consistency is aligning specific habits to get the results that you desire. So, as your number one mindset disruptor, I want to tell you that when you set goals and you have a dream, you set a goal, you make a plan, and you go about executing that plan. Well, today I am way under 200 pounds, way under 200 pounds, and I'm at a healthier weight, and I feel great, and I look great, and I love it. And it's been 4 years in that journey. But how did I do that? I changed my eating and activity habit. I begin to understand my body. And all of this started, as you know, I'm going to say, from how I taught about food, how I taught about myself, and then I put habits into place and moved with them in consistency. So when I looked at that, the fact that I wanted to lose weight, as I said, we are consistent already. When I looked at my life and I had obtained success as an entrepreneur, as a student, as a business leader, as an education administrator, I had whopping success, but I was looking at my body and I was not getting that success. And I asked myself, and the question I want you to ask yourself is, what is the difference between the success I am receiving as a student, as an entrepreneur, as a business leader, and why is it in this particular area? And as for me, with losing the weight and being healthy, what is the difference? Once again, I saw my habits and the consistency. You see, when I decided at age 17 that I want to always empower myself by having control over my day and my money and and being able to have a certain level of freedom to travel and interact and bring and do and carry, I chose to be an entrepreneur. So with that, I continue, and even in college classes, when I'm studying, I'm taking entrepreneur classes. I continue to show up to entrepreneurial retreats. I continue to study the world's greatest entrepreneurs. I continue to develop habits that will put me in a space and a place of power to say, I don't need to work for you because I have created a clear path to entrepreneurship. I was consistent with making the goal, aligning the goal, recruiting and staying in the right environment for the goal, and consistently get up and keep chipping away at the goal. And so that is why today I want to share with you that the power and the most confident that you can be that you will receive the goal and the dreams that you have in your life, that you can meet the pivotal moment of saying, I am successful in this area and that area, and ultimately successful in my life, is going to be tied to the habits that you choose to commit to and conform to in consistency. You see, the question I asked us earlier is, if you relived today for the next 10 years, what will be the outcome of your life? You see, a small step forward each day adds up to a lot of mileage over time. No one that's successful is truly successful overnight. Even some of the youngest entrepreneurs like Mark Zuckerberg that we know that has come on the scene with Facebook, and it seems like he just came from nowhere with this coding idea and this app and this platform called Facebook, and he's wildly successful and a billionaire or a millionaire today. No, it didn't happen overnight. You see, the backstory behind this entrepreneur is one of the things that I paid attention to, because when I thought about working with young people or even bringing my own children into the world, I wanted to understand what was the key to their success. You see, from a very young age, Mr. Zuckerberg's parents kept him at home in a homeschool environment where he consistently worked on the computer and developing various programs. No, he didn't just stumble on Facebook one day and here we are socializing around the world. No, it didn't happen like that. He was consistently creating programs that didn't work and no one cared about. And then one day he was able to land on Facebook, and here we are. Here we are, you're watching us on Facebook. Here we are, you're watching us on LinkedIn. Here we are, you're watching us on YouTube, because these entrepreneurs and these scientists were consistent, focused on the goal, and they took small steps every day. As I said, Zuckerberg, from a very young age, he didn't just stumble on the gift of creating codes to build a program called Facebook. So my question to you again is, are the little things you do each day adding up to something positive? Or is the quality of your life slowly just slipping away because you are already in the habit of consistency? That's not a problem. Is it that you are consistent with habits that will bring you the success you're looking for? You know, like I shared with you, with the consistent action over about 3.5 years, I began to see my body shrink. I began to see myself with a more defined muscle. I began to, before I even saw the weight loss, I was climbing up mountains here in Arizona. I was recovering from things very quickly. And a lot of the limitations that was put on me was released by my doctors. So I'm asking you, what would you accomplish if you were reliving today for the next 10 years? You see, as a salesperson at one time, making cold calls each day, I knew that if I keep calling, eventually I would land on one person that would say yes, and then another. If I did 5 days of phone calls, then eventually it would add up to several sales and meeting my goal and making my quota. So are you consistent? Are you consistent? Because you see, I said you are consistent, but are your consistent behaviors helping you or harming you? You see, in my mindset system, I have something that's called think, speak, do, become. And so the thinking is that everything begins with our thoughts. And then we begin to speak it out loud, and we create and help to co-create what our world would look like. And then we begin to do those things, and they become habits, and we do them consistently. And that is what we become. Those are the results we received. So I want to encourage us here with just 5 tips that you can walk away today to use the power of consistency to enhance the habits that you form to attain success. You know, an effective way to predict your success is to examine your average day. You know, there are times we look at our day and we're like, oh my gosh, this day just slipped away from me. But did it really? How do we take control back in our day? So the first thing I want to ask you is to set your day up in a way where you will not have an air of regret necessarily, or let's just say too much regret. If you had to answer that question, if you live today over and over, would you have end up where you need to be? You see, if you save just a small amount of money each day, you're going to eventually be wealthy, right? If you cut calories if you cut so many calories off your daily diet every day, you'll be able to lose a pound, right? So it's those little habits. An effective habit will predict your success. So take that examination. Let's look at what we do, the common things. Every day, you have to clean your house, you have to brush your teeth. It's so simple. We get up and we do those things out of habits because we want a clean environment. So consider where your daily habits and behaviors are leading you to financially, socially, spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally. Are you reading the right set of newspapers? Are you studying the right books? Do you have the right mentor? Have you chosen a coach that's already locked down consistent behavior habits and achieved that success that you're looking for? So ask yourself, number one, where would I end up if I relive this day? Number two, realize that many of the changes in life has to come slowly. You don't just wake up and be consistent. You don't just wake up and know what habits you want to create. You have to have a plan and understand who you are and why you're here. Many success gurus advocate that taking massive action to see massive results without strategy can be very, very, very difficult to maintain. So, for example, let's go back to my weight loss goal. When I wanted to lose weight, it was important for me to know exactly what was happening inside my body. I didn't just jump up and say, I want to lose 100 pounds. I want to lose 120 pounds. I wanted to lose 10 pounds first. And I started to make changes that would allow me in my caloric intake and in my activity to be able to lose 10 pounds. I know, yes, my long-term goal is 100 and whatever, but those small changes that I made over time helped me to see success sooner and allowed me to create and commit to the habits in consistency to bring the results. So, number two, realize that many changes of life, you must take them slowly and you must understand exactly what you're doing and bite them off bit by bit. The third one is consistency requires habits, discipline. Ouch, discipline. I said discipline in not a short supply, but an abundant supply of discipline. You just can't be consistent. Like I said, we are consistent already. It's not a problem. Are we consistent with the right habits to get in the direction that we want to go? So use your discipline to develop useful habits, my friend. You can't just rely on discipline alone. You have to have a plan with those habits that align to where you want to go, or you will end up losing the battle. And that is not how we achieve success, right? So while discipline can grow with effort, having effective habits is more effective. Yes, I'm saying consistency require habits, but habits that are implanted in discipline, and that is how we go to the next level. And number four I have for you is learn to act in the moment. One of the things I learned in my life is that once I make a decision, a commitment, and I knew where I wanted to go, I needed to get up and move. And I had to have a plan for what I'm going to do in moments. You see, in that weight loss journey I told you about, when I looked at my life as a student, when I was traveling on vacation or just visiting family members, I had my textbook. I brought my laptop. So I applied that same principle of being ready to respond and being ready with the right supplies that I needed to be successful as a student. And I thought about it. When I travel, I brought my own darn food. Now, I didn't bring a whole lot of stuff, but I brought some major staples that I will not have to question what I'm going to eat when I'm hungry and end up picking up the wrong food because I'm hanging out with a whole lot of family. I still do that today, even though I'm not necessarily so focused on weight loss. I'm more focused on definition. I am still prepared. And when I'm not, you better believe I'm making the wrong decision. What I do is pull them back as quickly as possible, because if I become consistent, just eating and snacking and snacking and snacking and snacking, I know I'm going to slip off. So be ready for the moment by being prepared. Each day has a power to bring you closer to your goal. And so you must be prepared. Just like I said, I looked at my life and how I was a successful A grade Dean's List, a Sigma Beta Delta student among the top 12 business professionals in the world. Yes, yes, yes. And I looked at those habits that I had. And one of them is that I was prepared for the moment, and I was prepared for when things go sideways. Because the only real discipline required is the discipline of always taking the right action at the right time. And so my final one that I learned, that the power of consistency determines the level of success that I achieve, is have reasonable expectations. Look, you can't just jump on and say, like I said, in my journey, I learned to dice up my goals, and I do that in everything in my life. When your time is on the horizon, you must be realistic. It is not easy to be consistent with new and different habits. It is not. I know for sure, because they say take 21 days. Well, sometimes it takes longer, because the mind is often fighting us and telling us we want something else. We want to go back to what we've done for 10, 15, 20 years. And now we're trying to do something different. We're trying to create new habits. So don't ask yourself for too much too soon when it comes to developing new habits and creating discipline around how you're going to be consistent. Because you don't want to challenge yourself with unrealistic expectation, but be positive and stay enthusiastic and be reasonable about your goals while putting focus. You see, I want you to understand, where your focus goes, your energy flows, and where your energy is flowing, your focus remains. I know people say it a little bit different, but I know you caught that. So to make consistent improvement, use things like reminders, write notes, set alerts, set alarms, use calendar. We've got all kinds of tools and cool things that we can use to put ourselves ahead. So remember what I said. Number one, make sure that you're living your days in a way that will put you where you want to end up. Number two, realize that many changes in life must be accomplished slowly. Number three, consistency requires habits and discipline. And discipline is in no short supply when you want to be consistent to achieve your goals. And number four, learn to act in the moment and be prepared for things going all wrong. Like I know Murphy's Law, anything that can go wrong will go wrong in opportunity time. Just like this morning with me, I have a consistent space in my studio that I use for our virtual presentation and events, but I decided I was going to move out to the consistency and switch things up a little bit, and I end up in a whole conundrum. So learn how to act and arrive in that moment with a prepared plan. I had to have a backup plan, which I did, and I had to use it. Number five, the last one, is have reasonable expectations for yourself. My dear friends, what you do once in a while does not impact your life significantly. Look, straight up and down, if I once in a while ate healthy 5 out of 10, I wouldn't see results in the changes in my weight loss and my health. Rather, it's what I did consistently. You see, consistency is a major predictor of your success and anything that you endeavor to do. So develop habits and routines. Develop habits and routines by first shifting your mindset, first thinking, and speak in alignment with what your goals are. Then do those things and do them consistently by developing habits and discipline around the results you're looking for. Create routines that guarantee the success you're looking for. Consistent behaviors, friends, determine your outcome. So choose behaviors that make sense and remain in consistency with those. I am your number one mindset disruptor, Dr. Alisa Whyte. I remind you that everything begins with a thought. How's your mindset? Continue to live passionately and on purpose, and put all your goals and your plans in consistent habit. Over to you, my dear brother and friend, Dr. Praise.
Good. Now that was powerful. That was powerful. Whoa, man. I don't know what I'm gonna say, but that was great. That was great. I mean, gentlemen, I don't know what you want to say about that.
I mean,
You know how
I don't know what to say either. I mean, she summed it up so beautifully. I mean, I'm speechless. I ain't got nothing to say.
You all are too
you know
kind.
when you know when someone goes up to speak before you, and then the person is actually saying your script, your note, and you ask yourself, okay, so what am I gonna say?
This is why you should have put the ladies first. You should take first jump.
Wow.
Thank you so
Wow. This,
much.
this is
Thank
this
you.
is awesome. Thank you, Dr. Alisa. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So Victor is, I mean, he's held up in traffic, but he will be with us in a bit. So before I call on Dr. Karim, I would just like to, just give a few tips on consistency. So I had to write some things down. You know how it is. If you don't, instead of you to just keep talking and talking, it's better you just have a note to guide yourself on the things you need to say. So consistency is an essential ingredient for success in any area of our lives. All right. And so if you don't consistent, so for instance, she said weight loss. It's either you want to lose weight or you want to gain weight or you want to gain muscles or you want to be an expert in a particular field. It's your consistency in that thing that determines the results you get. So for you want to gain weight, if you consistently hit the gym and do the exercises that will help you gain weight and gain muscles, in a matter of time, you will see the result. So my first tip is set clear goals. Make sure you have a clear understanding of what you want to achieve and set the specific goals that you can work towards. This will help you stay focused and motivated. So you set the goals. I want to build muscles. This is what I want to do. How long do I want to take to do this? You said that, and you see yourself already muscular, if I may use that word. So when you see the end from your beginning, consistency and being focused is what gives you the drive to move from that beginning to the end of what you've seen. And then the second one is create a routine. Create a routine. Establish a daily routine that includes the activities that are necessary for achieving your goals. So, what are the things you need to do? What are the kind of food you need to eat? Okay, if you want to grow your business, what are the kind of people you need to talk to on a daily? What are the things you need to do? What are the kind of people you need to associate yourself with? What are the kind of tapes you need to listen to? What are the kind of books you need to read? What are the kind of conferences you need to go to? What are the kind of webinars you need to be in? Who are the kind of people you need to sit under? Who are the kind of mentors you need? Very important. Very important. I mean, let me take a detour a bit. I and Cornel were talking a couple of, I think, a couple of weeks ago, and we said we need to do a webinar titled "Mentors Are Needed." Okay, Victor is here. Hey, Victor is here. Good to have you, Victor.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Now, Victor is called the Bishop of Wall Street.
The bishop.
Okay.
Of Wall Street.
All right now. That's going to be fun. I can't wait to hear the consistency of being the Bishop of Wall Street. Welcome,
Yeah.
Victor.
All right.
Thank
So
you
let me
so
let
much,
me
Jack.
continue. Let me continue
Just
while
give me a
Victor
minute.
settles
Just
in.
go ahead and give me a minute.
All right. So establish a daily routine. You
Okay,
know,
sorry, and no, just go ahead and give me a minute.
Sure, definitely. I'm pushing on. All right. So, consistency following a routine can help you develop good habits and make progress towards your objective. So, the first one was set clear goals. Second one is create a routine. And the third one is develop a system. Develop a system. Create a system or process that supports your goal. This can help you stay organized and reduce the likelihood of forgetting important tasks. Create a system. There has to be an hierarchy. What are you doing first? What are you doing second? What are you doing third? What are you meeting? Who are you not meeting? What are you talking to? What are you doing per time? Create a system that would help you achieve what you need to do. So I'll go back again. The first one is set clear goals. Second one is create a routine. And the third one is develop a system. Now, the fourth one is hold yourself accountable.
Hmm.
Woo! Yeah, that one.
Hold yourself accountable. You know, take responsibility for your actions and hold yourself accountable for the results you achieve. So if you're not building the muscles the way you expect to build the muscles, hold yourself accountable. Did I sleep too much? Was I lazy on day one or on day five or day six? Did I slack on day 12? Hold yourself accountable. This can help you stay motivated and focused on your goals. So for me, if I miss the gym for 2 3 days, I try to put in more workout on the day for the days I didn't do the workout. So if I used to do 30 minutes, I'll say, okay, for the days I miss, I'm going to do 1 hour. So hold yourself accountable for the success you want to see. And the next one is focus on progress. Focus on progress, not perfection. Focus on progress, not perfection. I would stop to
Mhm.
say this. Practice does not make perfect, practice makes improvement.
I
So
agree.
Love
if
that.
you're practicing to be perfect, you will never be perfect. So practice does not make perfect, practice makes improvement. So focus on progress, not perfection. Remember that consistency is about making progress over time.
Yes.
Don't forget, don't get discouraged by setbacks or mistakes that you make in between the line. Instead, focus on what you have achieved so far and keep moving forward. Hey, I've gained 20 kg. Yes, this is what I want. Or I've lost 20 kg. This is what I want. Keep pushing. Focus on the progress and not perfection. And then the next one is celebrate your success. Celebrate your successes. Every mile you take, celebrate yourself. Every mile you take, celebrate it. Every achievement, celebrate it. I mean, you're not going to wait for the world to celebrate you. If you do not celebrate yourself, no one will. It is in you celebrating yourself that the world gets to see and also celebrate you. Take time to acknowledge your accomplishment and celebrate your successes. This can help you stay motivated and maintain a positive mindset. And the last one is stay flexible. Don't be stereotyped. Stay flexible. Remember that life is unpredictable and sometimes unexpected events can happen and they can disrupt your routine. But hey, stay flexible and be willing to adjust your plans as needed to stay on track and stay successful. I hope that made sense. Dr. Karim is laughing.
Dr. Praise, that was excellent. I concur with all of those, and those I live by. I absolutely think the audience is going to benefit greatly from that because you have to have the. My favorite one is the accountability piece,
Mm.
and it's not only about me holding myself accountable. It's by having people in my inner circle that hold me accountable and don't say, "Oh no, it's fine if you miss one day. It's okay, girl. Why are you worrying about it?" Because then one day, then 2 days, then 3 days, then 4 days, and they're still telling me it's okay. Nah, that's not. They got to be on the outside. So I love the accountability piece. It's so very important. That's why we get coaches and mentors because my one of my dear friends here, Dr. Cream, he's been one of my mentors as well. And he says, and I love what he says, he says one of the greatest shortcuts to success, the only one actually, is who is mentoring, coaching you. So that's the accountability piece, and I love it.
Mm.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yay! I believe Victor is ready for us. The Bishop of
Finally,
Wall Street.
I celebrate you guys.
Welcome,
Can you
Victor.
hear me loud and
Welcome,
clear?
Victor. Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. So we have Dr. Karim, we have
Okay.
Cornel, we have only female in our midst, Dr. Alisa Whyte. She just released a bombshell here.
I followed her talk
Yeah,
all through. As a matter of fact,
tell me.
she's the very reason I'm very relaxed right now. And I'll tell you why in a bit. So before I do that,
Great.
I want to say thank you so much, Dr. Praise, for bringing me on this conversation. I don't take this for granted. It's a privilege. Trust me, it's a privilege. A lot of people will pay a whole lot to be on this talk, and I don't take it for granted. Okay? And so it's also a privilege to be speaking in the same room with the one and only Dr. Karim.
Thank you, my friend.
Trust me. Thank you so much. I'm gonna do a replay to hear your talk because I know that I'm gonna get a whole lot out of it. And my elder brother and my senior colleague and mentor, Cornel Agwu, is on this call. In fact, he is the connection between me and Dr. Eno Praise. You know, without Cornel, there is no connection to Eno. So thank you so much. And
Thank you, boss.
the guys, I don't want you to be jealous now. Don't be jealous. Just be grateful. God is good. But the celebrity of the call tonight is no other person than Dr. Alisa Whyte. Don't be jealous. Don't be jealous. No, don't be envious. You can be jealous, no problem, but don't be envious. So this is it. She was saying something when I was trying to come on the call. She said something that really relaxed me a whole lot. She talked about trying to change her presentation booth, and everything went into a color drum. See, trust me, I've been dealing with a crisis in here since I came in. So, so, so basically, I had a conference in town, and after the conference, I had to meet up with a senior colleague, David Imoniete. He's in Nigeria, and he wanted to hold me down, and I said, no, 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 no. Dr. Praise, Dr. Karim, Dr. Alisa, they're on a call. You are an opportunity, but this opportunity is also big. I need to be here. Cornel is on this call. And so if you're in Nigeria, you know that driving on our third mainland bridge, which is the longest bridge in West Africa, is like trying to make a trip from Daytona to Orlando by road. So I made it. Then getting in here and fixing the network. So I want to say thank you so much for waiting for me. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. So Dr. Praise, over
Great.
to you.
Yeah. It's your time. I don't know how this happened, but I think it's divine that it's happening the way it's happening. Um, there is one common factor with everyone that's on this call, and that one common factor is that we're all believers.
Oh, sure.
I don't know how that happened, but I believe it was divine. And I would want to say, thank God that this is happening. So before I hand over to you, Victor, we have people watching from So we are streamed live on we're on YouTube, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn. And we have people watching from the UK, we have people from Oman, we have people from Abuja, we have people from Iran, we have people from Sudan watching. So basically from everywhere around the world. So we're on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, and we're on YouTube. So right about now, ladies and gentlemen from around the world, the next voice you'll be hearing is Victor Emelatobi, aka the Bishop of Wall.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I want to say thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me, this is one of the most beautiful times to be alive. And the world is so global that I can talk to you from this multimedia device everywhere you are in the world. And tonight, I'm not gonna try to be like my senior colleagues, you know, like Dr. Karim, Cornel, Agwu, Dr. Alisa. I'm not gonna give you 10, 20 laws. I'm just gonna talk about one thing. The topic tonight is audacious, okay? You know, fearless, summing up the courage. And basically, I deal on finances. I deal on improving family finance, financial runway numbers, helping people understand where they are with their economy. And because I believe that if you can diagnose it, then you can fix it. The problem most times is that people want to fix what they don't know. When you know the enemy, then you're able to know who you're fighting. And most times, in the course of our courage, one of the major factors that deter us is what I'm going to be talking about tonight. So, for a subject topic tonight, I like to talk about who gets your ear time. EAR. Who gets your ear time? Okay, you want to write that down now. Who gets your ear time? EAR. If you're going to be able to drive through as an audacious personality with all boldness, keeping all that fear away to make it to the pinnacle of the vision that you've set in front of you, one of the first things you need to do is to fix who you listen to, fix the people who talk to you, fix the environment where you associate with, because we are a product of our environmental conditioning. Okay, I'm coming from the priesthood where my dad is a reverend, my mom is a pastor, but it wasn't a bulletproof from me absorbing some of the subconscious energy of poverty and scarcity, because these people were spiritually sound, but they didn't have express knowledge to how to fix their personal finances, even though they knew how to get to heaven in a minute. You know, so the first thing I needed to do, they were the right family because God sent me to them. They were the right people I needed to be with. They were the right family that would tailor me for the assignment that had been designed on the air. But for the place I was going to, the information they had to share on that subject topic was wrong, which is cut your coat according to your size. Okay? Never reach out for it if it's not within your reach. That was what they could tell me. Do I look like Rockefeller? That was what they could tell me. These were conditioning informations to me that were making me believe that I did not deserve all the things that I could get if I put my mind to it. So as much as I wanted to fight through, as much as I wanted to push my energy on the things that I wanted, but the information I kept getting kept submitting me to the will of the environment where I was raised. Okay? I used to tell people something. When you are born, you look like your parents. When you are old, you look like your decisions. When you were born, okay, when they give birth to you, you come into this world, you look like your parents. What they do is good. Everything that you're doing is what they taught you how to do. But when you're old, when you're man enough, Everything you look like is your decision, your some sort of decision. And so one of those decisions that you need to fix right now is this: who gets your airtime? Who are the people you are listening to? If you're going to be audacious, if you're going to be fearless, relentless, and thrive, you need to discover people who play in the footprints that you're trying to walk into. Who are the people that have walked that road? Okay, so most times when I talk to people about changing their entire life by changing who they listen to, even what Dr. Alisa was talking about, it all starts from the information, just like this one, that you have access to. Because we can finish talking to you right now, and the next person you're listening to, somebody's telling you you're not good and things are going to fail around you, then trust me, you are playing into the wrong community and it's going to limit you. So I'm going to use an illustration. I'm going to use an illustration to tell you what to do and exactly what you should do, how you should arrive there. So I want you to pay attention to this story I'm going to tell you. You can call it a fiction, you can call it real, but it's a made-up story. So I want you to imagine, okay? Just imagine that you have the privilege to be invited over for a dinner with the president, with the president of one of the richest nations on earth, and you've been given the privilege to board one of the most luxurious passenger plane on the face of the earth. Now, what this simply means is that you on this beautiful private jet, designed in a big Boeing 777. I don't know the ratings right now, the numbers. And at the click of a button, there is a hostess. Every wine you want in this earth is on that jet. Whatever you want, just click of a button. And the plane takes off and it gets into the sky, okay? 45,000 feet above sea level. And it's cruising at its altitude and maximum relaxation. And at this point, let's just assume that they choose to play very nice music, and you're hearing music that keeps you at that pace where your adrenalines in your body, your nerves, everything is relaxed, and you're getting the first champagne. The second one is on the way. It's coming to you, and everything is cool. Everything is cool. 2 hours into the flight, no challenges. All of a sudden, you hear an explosion. Boom. And because the air hostesses are naturally trained to be calm in situations like this, because the air hostesses are trained to absorb the pressure, and be calm in emergency situation, they may be more scared than you, but they're just going to be calm because they're not getting scared when they're supposed to make you feel comfortable. And a voice comes from the cockpit and it goes and they say, ladies and gentlemen, my name is pilot Chidi. We're currently cruising at 45,000 feet, but I'm sorry to announce to you, we just had an explosive decompression. We've lost one of the engines, but I want you to calm down, don't panic. We are still flying on one engine, and because this was designed and this aircraft was well formed for this kind of situation, I can assure you this engine would get us to our destination. Now, listen to what happens to you. From the moment of fear, a voice tells you, be calm. I can see you through it. You stay with me right here. I know we lost one leg, but we are going and we are going to arrive. You just stay with me. Now, trust me, you would stay, but we know that all of us on that plane, we just want to get down real fast. But the voice says, be calm, we're going to get. So into the flight, 35 minutes later, you hear another sound, boom. And at this point, the air hostesses are pacing back and front. And you know what? Since nobody would ask the questions you choose to ask, then you call one of the air hostesses and say, excuse me, young lady, what's happening? I see you girls walking up, down, and I had the second, what's happening? Is everything okay? And she tells you, I think the pilot will talk about that. While you were still trying to have that conversation, You hear this voice comes into the headphone. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Pilot. Oh, and the voice dies out. And you call the next person and you say, I think the pilot was trying to say something, but his voice has died down. We can't hear him anymore. And the lady is trying because she's trained not to get the guests or the passengers on the plane to panic. So she's trying to keep it together. So she keeps telling you it's under control. Between you and I, we know there is no control. We know that all hell has been let loose. But here is somebody telling you everything is under control. This is some of the problem audacious people face. We don't get it easy every day, but we pay attention to the voice that keeps us going. It's easy for us to look at the challenges and run away. It's easy for us to look at the economy that is not thriving and discharge. It's easy for us to say that everything is falling apart. I'm not doing this anymore. I can't move forward. I'm done. But guess what? The voice, the single encouraging voice that keeps telling you, be calm in the midst of the storm. You need to look for that voice. You don't want an air hostess who walks up to you and tells you that, sir, you know what? I want to tell you something, okay? Everything, the two engines are gone. We don't even know if we're going to land. This plane is going to crash. You don't want to be close to that kind of air hostess at that time. Even if you're going to meet God, you don't want to meet him like that. You don't want to meet him panicking, you know. So at this point, you're telling yourself, you know what? If I'm going to perish on this flight, I want to make sure I do so on my own terms. But today is not the day. I'm landing. This happens to us. Audacious people are fighters. They embrace their risks because they know that life comes to he who embraces death and say, you know what? Today we fight through. No going back. When you try to hold on to that life so much, you always lose it. That's why we have God. That's what it does for us. He holds it together. When we've lost this, I would say, see, my life is in your hands right now. You just have, because see, when you say people are audacious, I don't want you to think that it comes from a natural phenomenon inside of us because it's made up so we can drive through. No, we have emotions. Okay, we get beaten up, we want to give up, we want to run away. But the thing is that the voice that keeps speaking to us, because we already connected ourselves to that voice, and we have told ourselves, as long as the voice keeps speaking, I'm not going back, not today. I'm seeing this thing all through to the end. And guess what? Now you try to convince this beautiful air hostess to talk to you. And she says, sir, I'm going to tell you something that is top secret, but I want you to keep it together. And you say, you know what? I will keep it together. Don't worry, I'll keep it together. Between me and you, we know we're keeping nothing together, but we just have to. And so she says, the pilots and the co-pilots are both unconscious. And you say, hey, then who is flying the plane? I said, keep it together. He said, actually, when they were trying to make the announcement, they forgot to get their nose marks. And before they could reach out for the nose marks, they lost oxygen and they're both unconscious. And now you're asking, who is flying the plane? Who is flying the plane? You know now. Now listen to what's happening here right now. Most times we get to that point, we start asking questions that we are not supposed to ask. You're questioning things. We know there is light at the end of the tunnel, but we begin to ask those very dangerous questions. Those questions could make us or they could destroy us. Because if you embrace the reality of those questions you're trying to get answers to, you might make up your mind and say, you know what, I'll fight through, not dying today. But for many people, when they eventually get that answer, that's their burial ground. That's where they die. You know, so this is a good point for you to raise an alarm. Tell all the passengers on board, hey guys, we're dying today. But guess what? At this point, you're asking, so who is flying the plane? And they said nobody. And you're saying, okay, can I volunteer to fly the plane? because I think I did my PPL. I didn't do the CPL complete, but I know a little thing about, you know, I know a little thing about the cockpit. I think I can try one or two. And they say, sir, are you sure you want to do this? He said that somebody has to do it. Somebody has to take the front seat. So you are coming from a family where everybody is struggling with financial realities. You have to be the first one to say, you know what, I'm breaking through. I'm not waiting for no permission. In a conference today, I was telling people, I say, in a conference today, I was speaking, I told people, I said, sorry guys, my network faltered. So in a conference today, I was
Uh, his network is fluctuating.
am I back? Am I back?
Yeah, great. You're back. We can hear you.
Okay.
Great.
So in a conference today, I was telling people something. Stay on the story now. Stay on the story now. I was telling people something. I say, um, 80% of the time when I've been hearing this, whenever you talk about high sugar, whenever you talk about high blood pressure, whenever you talk about a lot of these terminal diseases, the first thing people say it's either in your DNA. I'm not a doctor, so I could be wrong, so you can correct me later. You understand? But I told them something. I said, what I realized is that it's not a genetic thing based on health. It is a genetic sickness based on habits. I'll say it again now. Most of the ailments that a lot of us have, a lot of people have out there in the world, it is not a genetic illness based on health or biology. They are genetic illness based on habits. For instance, let's take sugar, for instance. Your grandfather was not working out. Your father was not working out. Now you are not working out. So you guys keep storing a lot of fat in your body, and you expect sugar to automatically vanish from the body. And all you're doing is a drug. So every time you have high blood sugar and the diagnosis comes, the first thing that comes to mind is genetic. No, change the habit first of all. Because if you change the habit, and you start to work out, what eventually happens is that there is a quote that says in Africa, monkey see, monkey do. Now your kids are watching you work out. Eventually they begin to work out too, because they see their daddy doing this thing. So all of a sudden you discover that for the next few generations, nobody has diabetes in the family. No, there was nothing genetic about the biology. It is the habits. Okay, so most times what happens is this: when we tune into those voices that talk us out, we don't know how to tune back to the voice that put us on track, to follow on the track. So watch this. Since nobody will fly the plane, since nobody will volunteer, now you volunteer and you say, you know what, I can try. So you sit in the cockpit, and because you've seen a couple of 007 movies from James Bond, or probably one or two John Wick, so you shout into the headset, Mayday, Mayday. Whether it was 1st of May or emergency, you're totally careless. All you care is that you've heard a couple of people shout that once they get the headset. And miraculously, from the other side of the headphone, somebody responds and say, Captain Chidi, Boeing 777 coming from Miami. What is your status? And you're like, I don't know what you mean by status, but I can tell you that the boat pilots up here, they are out. And he said, then who is flying the plane? You say, I'm about to. He said, are you sure you want to do this? You said, yes, I want to do this. And I'm not making excuses for anybody who didn't want to. I want to fly the plane. The boat pilots are out, and I'm not dying today. I'm landing this flight. And the voice, again, remember, the voice tells you from the tower, And this is what it says. Listen attentively. It says, Chidi, we've done this a couple of times. You are not the first non-licensed pilot that will have to land a plane. In years so, we had an issue like this. And we spoke to the guy on the cockpit who has never flown before, and he landed the plane successfully. Testimony. Now, this relaxes you and puts you in an action mood and expectation mood that, okay, so if someone have done this before, it simply means we're landing today. And then he says, listen to me attentively. Can you see the lever down there? He says, pull it backwards. You pull it backwards. Can you see the button up there? He said, click 3 times. You go 1, 2, 3, 4. He says, how many times did you click the button? You said, I think I clicked 3. He said, no, I don't need you to think. I need you to be sure that you clicked 3 times. So if you're not sure, there is another green button beside it. I want you to press that button twice to cancel. So you go 1, 2. He said, did you do 1, 2? He said, yeah. Say, now go back again. Click on the red button. 1, 2, 3. And this time you obey, then you discover all of a sudden there is this calmness. The wings are out, the tires are out, and everything is ready to go smoothly. And guess what? This voice keeps talking to you till eventually you land this plane in the Miami International Airport. And guess what? When the doors of that jet opens up, every single person on that plane is going to be rushing to celebrate one person. Guess who they are all celebrating? You. Guess who they are all gifting the gift? You. Guess who is getting the free interview on CNN? You. Do you know the one person that doesn't get recognized in the activity? The real person who landed the plane. You know, between you and I, that if it was not for the voice on the headphone, there was no way you were going to land that plane. That was definitely your end. So the question tonight is, what voice are you listening to on your journey of audacy, on this audacious movement, on this fearless movement? Because you can drive crazy and expect that no consequences are going to come out from the accidents that you get from left and right. You're going to lose an arm. You're going to lose a leg. So I have said this to say this. If you're going to conquer in the space that you are driving in right now with all the audacity in the world, you are going to need a mentor. I want you to type it in the comment section. You are going to need a mentor. Mentorship is the shortest distance to success. Mentorship is the shortest distance to success. Mentors are people who have gone ahead, they have seen, and they are waiting to carry you on their shoulders. So the voice is the voice of a mentor. The voice is the voice of somebody. Never try to discover a road in a track that has already been designed, because somebody has walked that road before. Find that person, make them your mentor, listen to them, and trust me, if you would have arrived in 10 years, you are going to arrive in 2 years. Mentorship is the legal shortcut to success. So the next time somebody tells you there's no shortcut to success, tell them, trust me, you don't know what you're saying right now, because mentorship is the legal shortcut to success. So there's a shortcut to success. So if you are on that journey right now, you're driving and you feel confused, how do I move forward? How do I get to the next level? You just walk yourself into the forum of mentors, men that have been on the track. I can tell you a lot of stories about how I broke the financial genetic of lack in my family, but to
I think he got cut off because of the network. Wow, but that was, guys, are we here? Are we still here?
Yes, I am.
Yep, still here.
That was good. That was good. That was good.
That was
That was good.
powerful.
That was excellent.
Whoa. That was
That was fantastic.
awesome. Trust me, that was powerful. So I think straight up we'll just go into um, the one and only. I mean, this cannot, I don't know how to introduce him, how to bring him forward. I mean, this is a recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award by President Biden. I mean, a global speaker, global leader, a brother, a friend, a mentor. Hey guys, from all over the world, put your hands together as we welcome Dr. Karim.
Well, it's a pleasure, my dear friend, Dr. Praise, and to all the other illustrious guests that have been on here today that have dropped all types of gems and nuggets, all about the power of consistency, and for all the guests that's given up what I call the most valuable resource in the world, which is your time. Because once you give your time, you can never get it back. I want to anchor in very, very heavily on the idea of consistency, because I believe if there's anything that's required to be super successful, I think it has to be around the guise of consistency. As a young boy growing up, I remember being recruited to help my mother fix certain types of dinners. Now, the dinners she would normally recruit me for would normally be the big holiday celebrations. So we celebrated Thanksgiving. There were moments when we celebrated Christmas. And of course, those days were celebrated by a large feast. So my mother would literally start cooking food for Thanksgiving or for Christmas about 4 or 5 days in advance. And of course, she would recruit me to help her make stuff inside the kitchen. Now, at the age of 6, I really didn't want to be in there helping her make a turkey. I didn't want to be in there helping her make greens or helping her make mashed potatoes. But at the age of 6, I was really in tune with her making dessert. I mean, what kid did not like eating dessert? Because as the helper, I would be the one that got a chance to lick the mixing spoons, right? I get the chance to lick the bowl. And so, depending on the dessert she made, oftentimes she had me go out there and grab the ingredients necessary. So let's say she was going to make a cake. She would get a box just like this. And on the back of the box, it will be all the ingredients needed in order to make this cake. And so this one here says you need to get 3 large eggs. Well, we got eggs, okay? It will say we need a cup of oil. It says we need a cup of water. It says we need a cup of milk. We need 2 tablespoons of sugar. And so what I would do is I would literally go and grab all these different ingredients out of the cabinets and off the countertop, and I would bring them to her. And as she would take the ingredients one at a time, she would take the ingredients and pour them inside a giant mixing bowl. And as she threw all the ingredients inside, she'd take the giant spoon and she began to stir and stir and stir and stir. And I would just sit there watching her stir all the ingredients up. And when she finished stirring the ingredients, she would take the ingredients and pour the ingredients into a giant pan. And she'd take that pan and put that pan inside the oven and put it on 350 degrees. Now, I would watch this take place. And of course, I got a chance to lick the spoon, right? That's what little kids like to do. But I remember sitting there in front of the oven, 10 minutes into the process, and I could smell the sweet smell coming from the oven. And I remember I would ask my mother 10 minutes in and say, is the cake ready yet? And she would say, no, baby, it's not ready yet. It's got to cook for 30 minutes. 5 minutes later, I would say, Mom, is it ready yet? She would say, no, baby, it's not ready yet. It's still got to cook for 30 minutes. 20 minutes into the process, I said, it's got to be ready because I can smell it. I mean, I can turn the light on the stove, on the oven, I can see inside, and it looks like it's rising. And out of frustration, she went to the kitchen, pulled down the oven drawer, pulled the unfinished product out, put it down on the table. She took a fork and stuck a fork in the middle of that cake and pulled the fork out. And I saw all the batter clumped around the fork, letting me know it's not done yet. Even though it looks like it may be cooked, even though it smells like it may be cooked, when she stuck the fork inside of it, it blatantly had not been cooked because the outside was not a measure of what was going on in the inside. So she put the cake back in the oven and let it finish out the 30-minute cycle. 30 minutes later, she pulls the full cake out of the oven. She slices a piece. She gives me a piece, and I'm enjoying the taste of the cake. Now, the reason why I'm using a cake in the scenario that we're talking about today, because I highly believe in order for you to be successful, there are certain ingredients you must have. There's certain ingredients that every successful person has that kind of bakes their way to success. And so when I talk about the different ingredients, I talk about, number one, for me, it was vision. Like if I had this mixing bowl and I'm putting ingredients into what created my success over the last 2 decades, number one, it has to be vision. I'm a strong believer in what the Book of Life says. It says, write the vision and make it plain. And so that means it's my job to have my vision. The biggest problem I see with a lot of people, they're not chasing their own vision. Like it took me up until the age of 26 to figure this out. Before I was 26 years of age, I spent all my time, my effort, and my energy chasing everybody else's vision. But if you ask me what I want to do with my life, what I want to be, what do I want my life to look like, I couldn't give you the first idea because I didn't have a vision. It was when I got to the age of 26, I got clear about the vision for my life. I want to be able to travel all over the world. I want to take this gift and talent of speaking and share it with the rest of the world. I wanted to get paid handsomely for my gift and my talent. I want to help other people walk out the best version of their life. So the first ingredient I had to understand was vision, right? Now, before I go any further, let me add this in here because I don't want to lose people on this message where I'm going with the delivery of this message. Because I said earlier that in order for my mother to bake the cake, number one, she had to have the right ingredients put inside the bowl. But remember, the ingredients don't mean anything until it was put inside the oven. And it's set there long enough for the cake to physically bake and rise. See, the ingredients I'm going to go over with you in a second, that's about the success principles, what I think you need to be successful. But the consistency in this storyline has got to be the oven, right? And the reason why I say it's the oven, because what I've learned about consistency doesn't discriminate. In other words, when she put the ingredients in the pan and put the pan inside the oven, the job was to keep the ingredients inside the oven long enough for the cake to be baked properly. And the problem I see with most people is they want to put success inside the oven and take it out prematurely. Or we got some folks out there that don't put anything in the oven at all, right? So consistency to me would be the effect of the oven, meaning I have it in there and I have it in there long enough so I get the proper results. So when we talk about the concept or the ingredient of vision, first question I want to ask you, what is your vision? Because right now, if you don't have a vision, I can promise you, it ain't that you're walking around without a vision. You're most likely spending your time, your efforts, your energy, and your resources helping to complete and fulfill somebody else's vision. 26 years of my life, I was taking my gifts, my talents, my expertise, my resources, and I was placing them at the foot of a job, and I was helping the owner of that business complete their wildest vision. So number one, I want to be clear about vision. And the other problem is this: when I have a set vision, it's my job to stay consistent with that vision. That means I can't keep switching up the flow of that vision every 5 seconds. One of the biggest problems I have in this industry right now, because I have success, is I'm always getting things pitched at me. From multi-level marketing opportunities to investment opportunities. You know, there's so many different things I get on a regular basis, but my job is to be clear about what's the vision I'm going after. Because with so many things being pitched at me, I can easily switch up and go after this, go after this, go after this, go after this. But the problem is I'm not being consistent to what it is I started at the beginning of the race. The only reason I'm here in front of you right now is I stayed consistent to the art of speaking. I stayed consistent to being an entrepreneur, and I didn't abandon. I didn't take it out the oven prematurely. I kept it in the oven long enough for the cake to rise, to be able to not only enjoy a slice of my success, but to share it with everyone else around me. The second ingredient I'm going to talk about would be mindset. Now, I don't want to stay on this too long because I know we hit the number one mindset disruptor on here, and she leveled the building on the concept of mindset. But if I am permitted to add a little bit of value to what Dr. Alisa said earlier, I believe mindset has to be an ingredient you put inside your mixing bowl. I believe you have to have it. And mindset to me is the way you process and think about things. Now, this is one of the problems I see with a lot of us. The problem I had up until the age of 26. My mindset was never focused on what it is I wanted. I want you to think about your mind just like this iPad I'm holding, right? And when I bought this iPad came on default settings. Now, I use this iPad for my speaking business. I use it to go out there and give presentations with, and I put PowerPoint on here, whatever have you. But you know that when I bought this iPad, it didn't come with those things installed on it. That means it was my responsibility, number one, to understand the vision for the reason why I'm going to use it. And number two, it's my responsibility to go out into the App Store and download the applications needed to make this properly used for what I need to use it for, right? That means that my mind works the same exact way. When we're born on this planet, we're born on default settings. My job is to go from default settings to design settings, meaning when I get clear about where I want to go on this planet, the things I want to do, the things I want to achieve, the person I want to be, the people I want to bless, it's my job to go out there and download everything I need mentally that's going to make that goal and dream a powerful result. That means I have to have the right mindset. If I look back into this mixing bowl and think about other ingredients, I think that's necessary. I got to say habits. I believe that 90% of what you do right now is dictated by your habits, for better or for worse. You know, scientists say it takes 21 days to create a habit, 66 days to lock it in stone, and 90 days to make it a reality. I'm going to say that again because somebody needs to hear that. Scientists say it takes 21 days to create the formation of a habit, 66 days to lock it in stone, and 90 days to make it a reality. So let me ask you a powerful question right now when it comes to your habits. Do you actually have habits right now that are going to flourish your success? Or do you have habits that's slowing you down and holding you back? You know, up until the age of 26, again, I had a whole lot of habits that was slowing me down. Facts about it, the one habit I had that was really hurting me the most was I was in the habit of procrastination. I would wait to the last minute to do everything. And a lot of times it was based out of fear. I didn't believe I had the ability to be successful. And so I would wait to the very last minute and I would lose out on opportunities. I would lose out on connections. I would lose out on money. I would lose out on so many different things. So it was my responsibility to be aware of whatever habits I'm sitting on that's not making me successful. Now, here's the catch. And I got to throw this in there. One of the ways I surpassed some of my negative habits is I found an accountability partner. You heard me correctly. I found an accountability partner, someone that can hold me accountable. Meaning, if I tell you what I want to do and what I want to be, your job is to be honest with me. If you see me doing anything that's contradictory to that level of success, your job is to call me out. And it's deeper than that because I own 3 Yorkies and I've had my Yorkies since they was puppies, right? And one of the biggest problems I had with my puppies growing up is they didn't know how to go outside and pee. Now, when they was puppies, I didn't mind them peeing in the house just a little bit because they were puppies. They didn't have a whole lot of bladder to empty. But once they started hitting grown adult dog, y'all got to get out my house. My house can't smell like dog pee, right? And so the problem was they had a habit of wanting to pee inside the house. And so what I had to do is give what's called a pattern interrupt. I'm going to say it again. I had to do what's called a pattern interrupt, meaning I would literally sit on my couch waiting for one of my dogs to show me that they had to go outside and pee, right? What one of my dogs would do is he would literally just kind of circle around and keep sniffing and sniffing and sniffing. And that was the sign he was getting ready to pee. And so the moment the dog would lift his leg to pee in the house, I would spring off the couch. I would take a rolled up newspaper and pop him with it. I wouldn't pop him hard, right? But I would pop him loud enough to create a pattern interrupt. That means my job was to shock him and then hurry up and pick him up and take him outside to the local tree and say, this is where you use the bathroom at. My job was to do that for at least 21 days straight. Why? It takes 21 days to create a habit. That means that if I have a bad habit, my accountability partner, I need them to catch me in the act of my bad habit so I can switch my bad habit with a good habit in the moment. Otherwise, I won't catch it, right? So one of the ingredients that has to go inside that mixing bowl, it's got to be habits. Right? The fourth ingredient I think you absolutely have to have if you want to be super successful, I think you got to know your God-given gift, talent, and expertise. I'm going to say it again. You got to know your gift. You got to know your talent, and you got to know your expertise. I'm a firm believer that everybody under the sound of my voice, God put you here with some sort of gift, talent, or expertise. A gift and talent is something you've been born with. As a child growing up, I was always in trouble for running my mouth and talking. Like in school, that's all I got in trouble for. Straight A student. I skipped the grade, so I was exceptionally smart, a bit of a genius, but I always was in trouble for running my mouth. That, believe it or not, was a gift because now I get paid handsomely to do what I do now all over the world, right? So a gift is something you're born with, but you have to discover that gift. That means you have to spend time figuring out what is the gift or the unique gifts, because I believe people have more than one gift and talent. I have 3 that I use on a regular basis, but I got to figure out what are my gifts and talents and how do I match those gifts and talents to give me a great rate of return. Now, the reason why I throw this out there because my favorite animal in the world is a cheetah. And most of us know a cheetah can run 70 miles per hour, but I've never seen a cheetah confused about his gift of speed. I've never seen that. I've never turned on the TV and watched the cheetah on a wildlife program confused about what it's going to do to catch its meal. It knows exactly what it's going to do. It's going to use the God-given gift and talent that's been bestowed inside of me to make my way easier. Facts about it, Every animal on this planet has a gift and talent, and they're not confused about how to use it. An eagle can spot its prey from 2 miles in the air. A shark can smell blood from 2 miles underwater. A bat can use sonar to detect a mouse in the darkest of caves. So all these creatures have gifts and talents to make his way easier. Don't you dare believe for a second that the Almighty put you on this planet and you don't have some sort of gift and talent that you're supposed to use to make your way earlier. Yes, I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years. However, you better believe when I was in corporate America, I used the gift of communication to climb the corporate ladder like it was nobody's business, right? So I want to know what my gift and talent is, but the opposite of a gift and talent has got to be an expertise. And an expertise is anything that you have done for so long that you know it in, out, up, down, forwards, backwards. You know it so well, other people are coming to you because they see you as the expert. Now, the question being is, what are you doing with your expertise? Because I see a lot of people who don't have that first ingredient, which is vision. And if you don't have vision, all the other resources we're talking about, all the other ingredients kind of go out by the wayside. Right? And so if I have an expertise, the question is, am I using that expertise to make myself wealthier, to get to my fantastic finish line? Or am I trading that gift and talent or trading that expertise for less than what it's actually worth? For a long time, guys, I used this gift of communication as a corporate trainer, and they were paying me less than what I get paid on stage, way less than what I get paid on stage now to talk for an hour of my time. So that fourth ingredient has to be knowing my gift, my talent, and my expertise. If I had to have a fifth ingredient that goes inside this mixing bowl, it's got to be the power of mentorship. It's got to be the power of mentorship. And the reason why I got to say this is, you know, when I was stepping out there and creating dynamic success, the greatest shortcut you will ever have is a good mentor. I don't care about how much money you have. I don't care about your opportunities, because you can have money, you can have opportunity. But if you don't have a good mentor to show you how to take advantage of that opportunity, how to mobilize that money, then you are not doing yourself any type of justice as far as moving quicker and faster to your finish line. It's my firm belief that everyone under the sound of my voice should have a mentor. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how young you are. Everybody should have a mentor. Why? The most valuable resource you got is time. The most valuable resource you have is time. If I can find a mentor who's been doing what I want to do for 20 years, can show me all the shortcuts to get to the finish line so I don't have to walk the pathway and make the mistakes myself, I'd be a fool not to take advantage of that. So I have to put mentorship somewhere inside the bowl of expertise. And then the last thing I'm going to have down here is it's got to be a plan of action. Now, the reason why I say a plan of action, because one of my favorite sports in the world is American football. And what I've learned in the sport of American football is every time between downs, they go into a huddle. They don't go into a huddle just to hype each other up. They don't go into a huddle just to high five each other. They go into a huddle because their job is to figure out, how do we get from where we are to the end zone to score? So that means in between every play, they have to figure out, what play are we going to run that's going to get us a minimum of 10 yards down the field. That's it. Just 10 yards down the field. In American football, if you get me 10 yards down the field, we get a first down and the ball stays in play until we make it to the end zone. And so one of the things I had to do was figure out, man, what is my plan of action? For me personally, I want to leave the 9-to-5 job so I can do what I'm doing full time. Well, I couldn't just quit my job and do it. I had to figure out, what was my plan of action to take care of income? What was my plan of action to reduce and remove debt? What was my plan of action to get the right mentor? What was my plan of action to get my name out there so folks know who I am? And what was my plan of action to get positive, successful results? Now, I've given you several different ingredients I think you need that you can put inside your mixing bowl. But I got to anchor back to the key element, which is consistency. I said earlier that consistency would be the oven in this scenario. And until you take those ingredients, put them inside the bowl, and begin to mix them heartily and put them inside a pan and put them inside the oven, until you put them inside the oven and turn it up to 350 degrees and leave it in there long enough to get a positive result, which is consistency, which means I'm going to stick with my vision until the vision manifests. I'm going to stick with the right program in my mindset until I get results. I'm going to identify what habits I need to be super successful, and I'm going to find a way to reduce the habits or get rid of the habits that are actually holding me back. I'm going to identify my God-given gift and talent and expertise and use them instinctively and intrinsically to get me to my fantastic finish line. I'm going to find the right mentor who can show me the real shortcuts and avoid the pitfalls that's going to slow me down. down. And then most importantly, I got a plan of action. I'm going to work every single day until I produce a positive result. You know, guys, if you take all these different things and add them to consistency, which is the ability to stick with this longer than your patience wants to hold out, to stick with it longer than your desire may hang on to stick with it when folks are walking away from you, to stick with it when your money is not tight, to stick with it when doors are slammed in your face, to stick with it when things don't look like they're going the right way. I promise you, you'll receive positive results. Now, there's one last thing I want to say before we turn it back over to my friend Dr. Praise about the concept of consistency. And someone said it earlier, so I want to add on to it. I want to talk about the concept of how versus why. One of the things I learned with a lot of people that I have coached and taught over the years is the reason why a lot of people cannot stay consistent is not that they don't desire it. It's not that. I think a lot of people want to be super successful. I think a lot of people want to manifest greatness. I think a lot of people want to hit their goals and dreams while they're still alive to appreciate it. But what I learned with most people is they're too busy focused on the how-to and not the why. I'm going to say it again. They're too busy focused on the how do I get there versus the why I want to get there. See, when you focus on the how, you set yourself up for failure because the how-to means I have to know how to do it to get a result. You know, back when I was in ninth grade, right? I remember the teacher put this complex algebra equation on the wall and on the chalkboard. And she asked who in the room knows how to solve it. The equation said something wild like x squared times 2 in parentheses squared to the third power divided by 6 over x. And she wanted to know who knew the answer. And of course, everybody got quiet because no one knew the answer to the problem. That means that I can't move forward any farther because I don't know how. You know, when I first decided to leave the 9-to-5 job, the reason I was stuck there longer than I need to be because I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how was I going to replace my income if I left the job, right? When I decided to jump into real estate, the reason why I had such a slow takeoff because I didn't know how to do real estate. I didn't know how to make money in real estate. I didn't know how to find properties, how to flip properties, how to fix properties up. And the reason why my speaking career had a slow learning curve to go off because I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to go out there and give a speech. I didn't know what to talk about. I didn't know who to talk to. And so the things that always slowed me down was I didn't know the reason. I didn't know how. That was my main thing. Everything shifted in the trajectory of my life when I went from how to why. Because when I look at the why anchors to an emotional reason. And you guys know we're emotional creatures, right? If you talk to any sales guru and they talk about the art of sales, you always anchor sales to an emotional response. Every buying decision you have, they try to anchor to emotional response. Why? Because emotional responses trigger a desire to go out there and get things done. So when I focus on the reason why it was so important to leave the 9-to-5 job, because if I go out here and I can make this thing work, I'm taken care of. My family's taken care of. My daughter's not going to want for anything. I can bless other people and teach them how they can make it out the 9-to-5 so they can chase their goals and dreams. I got a strong enough reason why I need to be consistent. It ain't about the how-to. Because if I'm focused on the how-to and I don't know the damn steps, I'll tell myself I can't move forward any farther. But if I know the reason why it's so important to jump into the world of real estate, because that's going to supplement the 9-to-5 income, which gives me freedom to go chase my goals and dreams. So I no longer have to work a 9-to-5 job just to pay bills and make ends meet. The reason why I want to go out there and speak on stage is because number one, it's my gift and talent and I get paid handsomely for it, but also I get a chance to go out there and bless other people to help them discover the 2.0 version of themselves. So I've got to say the key element in all of these things has got to be wrapped around consistency. Consistency is the oven you put your success cake in. And when you leave it in there at 350 degrees, for the full 30 minutes. That means you don't pull it out prematurely. That means that you got the patience to wait. I don't care how good it smells. I don't care how good it looks. Because if you pull it out prematurely, it's not going to taste the way it's supposed to taste. If you can leave it in there for the full duration of the process, which is getting up and putting in the work every single day with accountability partners to hold you to the fire, you should have no problem tasting the sweet taste of success. Dr. Praise, that's all I got from the day. If that don't get them motivated, I don't know what will. You can bring yourself back in. Let's talk about
it. Whoa. Okay. Now this is mind-blowing. Thank you so much, Dr. Karim. Thank you. Where is Cornel? We have just four of us here. Where's the fifth person?
Don't be losing the little duckies now.
Who we lose? We lost somebody. We down one man.
Maybe
Come
the
on.
heat was too much from Dr. Karim. Maybe the heat was too much. He needed to.
Yeah, he was taking notes, you know, and he got into the note taking.
Oh, there he is. He popped back up. There he
There
is.
he
Who's the note taking?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'll be back soon.
Yeah, we thought the heat was too much, so you needed to take a shower. You know.
That heat was something else. Dr. Karim, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Get up off those ropes. Get up off those ropes, Brother Cornel. Come on.
That
Don't
was
let him make
powerful,
you that
Dr.
hard.
Karim. That was great. That was great.
Thank you.
Dr. Lisa, you were awesome. Hey,
It is an
you were
honor.
awesome. Victor, I don't know what happened with the network. Like we will say here, I think your village people looked for you and they caught you.
Trust me. Unfortunately, I'm streaming with my iPhone, so I think it got overheated and it tripped.
Oh, so sorry about that. Well, I mean, we've been live on Facebook, we've been live on YouTube, we've been live on LinkedIn. I mean, people are watching from everywhere. This is great. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. I believe we should do this again.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah. So let me give a little backdrop on the Audacious series. So the Audacious series is going to come in different topics. This topic has been Audacious, the power of consistency. So we have a lineup of other topics under the Audacious series. So we have Audacious, the power of customer experience. We'll have Audacious, the power of team building. Audacious, the power of leadership. We have Audacious, the power of, in different areas. So right now, then we're going to have Audacious, the power of executive presence and personal branding. It's going to be in different sections, and we believe that we'll be able to deliver value to everyone watching. You know, like I usually say, and I mean, I will keep saying, I don't know who is out there, but everyone here has talked about mentorship, getting a mentor, get a mentor. Like I was saying before, Victor came up, I said, we were talking a couple of weeks ago, and we decided that we're going to do a session, a webinar on the topic mentors are needed. And we're going to do a session on the topic mentors are needed, because right now, every mentor that you might seem to have had is almost becoming a competitor.
Yeah.
Because they are scared of the speed and your progress.
Yeah.
No mentor should be scared of your speed and progress. That's the essence of mentorship and fatherhood. You are your mentee, your son is supposed to be better and greater and faster in speed and in progress than you are, than you've ever been. So I don't think I don't buy that idea that mentors should now become competitors. You know, so as we are at the level that we're in right now, we still have mentors.
Yeah.
We still have mentors. So I believe we'll do that session and talk about the power of mentorship. Audacious, the power of mentorship. We'll do that. Yeah. But thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for this. And we are planning, if you're hearing me from anywhere in the world, we're planning 30 days entrepreneurship boot camp. It's going to run for 30 days. I mean, we need to build the guys. So if you're in Africa, you're in Asia, you're in Europe, you're in Australia, you're in America, hey, watch out for this. Watch this space, we're coming up with a 30 days entrepreneurship boot camp. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. Victor is going to be there. Cornel is going to be there. Dr. Alisa will be there. Dr. Karim will be there. I will be there. We have Dr. Mary from Australia. We have other people from America, from Europe, from Asia that are going to be there. 30 days. We take you through it. Different topics, different modules. I think we have about 13. Cornel, we have about 13 or 14 modules.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's about 14 modules. 14 modules.
Yeah, about 14. So we would inform you and tell you how to register for it and then see how we can create value. Like I would always say, contact creates impact. Impact creates value. Value generates income. Contact creates impact. Impact creates value. Value generates income. Thank you so much. And guys, your last word before we call it a day. So, Dr. Alisa, you go first. Your last word.
I know, I'm prepared because I'm among all these gentlemen. You know what?
Ladies first.
Absolutely. Yes. It's an honor again. Thank you so much, Dr. Praise, for putting this together, my dear brother and friend. And I want to remind everyone watching here that everything that you desire is really locked into what you do repeatedly, man. You're not going to get any results without continuously doing what it is you are committing to do. A commitment is not enough. A plan is not enough. A goal is not enough. You've got to do it consistency and take all the wonderful advice from the mentors and powerhouses on this platform today and do it just like a nail. You got to hit that hammer, use that hammer at that nail quite a few times before you see it go into the wall. And then you have to get a bunch of other nails and keep doing the same repeated action. So today also, Dr. Praise, I have something that's called building stick-to-itiveness that I would love to share with our viewers. So I'm going to put it in on the social media outlets as much as I can, or you can reach out to myself or any of one. I'll share it with the team here. So if you're connected to any of these wonderful gentlemen, they'll have the link to share with you. It's a 14 email series, very brief, on taking you through those mindset shifts and making an action plan to stick to your goals and dreams by being consistent. So I'm going to offer that to you. And remember that everything begins with thought. Literally. How is your mindset? Is it set and primed for success? Go ahead and live passionately in purpose. And I'll see you all soon.
Okay. Powerful. As always, powerful. Powerful. Whoa. Thank you, Dr. Alisa, for that last word. Victor, over to you. Your last word before we go.
Yeah. So thank you so much. So like I always say, the only competition you have in this world is you. You're not competing against nobody now. You are the authentic being of you. You have no second best to you. And the only person you can get better than is you. So Dr. Lisa already said it. And the same thing, Dr. Karim always say, consistency, you just keep doing it. There are a lot of materials out there you can consume only from this faculty alone. If you stay on their YouTube material, trust me, you're on your way there. So you just want to fight the old you to give birth to the new you. So stop fighting your environment. You fight the old you by changing the things you think used to be and adapt to what is right now. Don't be so laid back into what was that you lose sight of what is happening. That's my time.
Thank you, Victor, the Bishop of Wall Street. Yeah, Victor is also the founder of. Victor is the he's the founder of Wealth Nation. Yeah, Wealth Nation. Yeah, thank you, Victor. Thank you so much. Over to Dr. Karim. The last word before we go, sir.
Last words, right? So first of all, before I even get the last words, I want to say, man, it's been great to be here with such great people. I mean, you guys dropped so many gems today. I'm over here trying to still recover from some of the notes I'm taking here mentally and on scratch paper. So powerful way to end the night where you guys are at and get through the midday where we're at. I'm going to say, number one, set the vision. It's all about vision. Until you get clear about what it is you want, you'll never get there. So you gotta be clear and make sure it's your vision, not everybody else's vision. And once you set that vision, then the second thing is persistency and consistency. Persistency will get you there, but consistency will keep you there. And the most successful people in the world, they were persistent about what they wanted, but they stayed consistent when they got there, and that's why they're still there. So persistency, consistency, the world is yours. I celebrate the new me in 2023. I think everybody should be breaking out that new version of them, that 2.0 version. My name is Dr. Karim Ellis, number one breakthrough strategist. That's what I got for you.
Yeah, powerful. I think the network knocked Mr. Cornel out, but hey, this is awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Karim. Thank you, Dr. Alisa. Thank you, the Bishop of Wall Street, Victor and Emelataobi. I am grateful. Good to have you all here. And I look forward to the next session with you guys. I mean, let's make this happen. It's 2023, year of impact, year of extraordinary results. Let's move forward. Let's change the narrative. Let's make this happen as much as we can. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. I know it's still afternoon out there in America, so enjoy the rest of the day. Victor, enjoy the rest of your night.
Yeah. Night.
Yeah. Wherever you're watching us from around the world, enjoy your morning, enjoy your afternoon, and enjoy your evening. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye-bye.